of Democrats trying to defend Joe Biden. They're sort of running out of energy for it. I think everyone kind of knows now that this is an old guy, probably suffering from a form of dementia, who's just stammering and stuttering and falling his way through to the end of what has turned out to be a pretty poor presidency, isn't it?
Have you listened to Donald Trump? I mean, I'm listening to this and I'm kind of in shock.
Dave Rubin completely schools this crazy cat lady, Julie Radzinski, when it comes to Pete Hegseth and also Donald Trump. Julie Radzinski being a crazy cat lady, Trump deranged syndrome sufferer. She obviously doesn't like Pete Hegseth as a pick because, well, he's a Donald Trump pick. And she just doesn't like Donald Trump. So we already have Dave Rubin over here bringing in common sense to the table and absolutely schooling her. Let's see how Dave Rubin does on the Piers Morgan show.
Pretty effective points on that as well. And coming at a time when you see people like Mark Zuckerberg, who are leading the kind of charge of DEI and liberal woke policy, now doing these screeching U-turns, recognizing that actually it wasn't right, it wasn't fair, it wasn't equitable. It effectively has collectively encouraged mediocrity over meritocracy and so on. And I thought he was effective on that, Pete Hegseth.
Oh, I thought he was quite effective because he is a TV presenter and knows how to communicate ideas effectively. He has been well versed in interviewing people and discussing this and talking to people inside the military and inside of all of our institutions and corporations that have been wrecked and ransacked by DEI. The idea of America is based on individual rights. We do not care about your sexuality or your gender or your skin color or any of those other immutable traits. What we care about is, especially in the military, which we all, regardless, I think, of political allegiance, would like to be effective and be able to protect Americans and American interests. We want people who are competent, who are physically fit and mentally fit to do these jobs. We can only, I mean, there's a million examples I can give you here, Piers, but we only need look at what's going on with the California fires right now and the amount of time that the fire department and the administration and Gavin Newsom and the mayor and LA and California as a whole spent on diversity in the fire department rather than figuring out ways to go about combating fire properly and preventing these things. And that's the exact same thing that the military is going through. It's, by the way, exactly what Mark Zuckerberg was going through at Facebook, where he was dealing with an insurrection of his own employees who were woke and trying to silence everybody and the rest of it. So all of these things are deeply connected. And I would say, if we're going to save America, which I think we're 5 days away from turning around a lot of this nonsense, these hearings are a great example of seeing how the ideas of equity are actually completely antithetical to everything that this country.
I mean, Dave Rubin's right, and it goes without saying. I mean, you don't got to be a smart dude to know that. When you hire people for, you know, characteristics that they have no control of, that don't really affect their job in any way, you're going to get California fires. And that whole, isn't it any wonder it happened in California, here in my home state of California, the home of all of this woke ideology, or at least one of the homes, one of the major homes of woke ideology is going up in flames. And it's because of this ideology. And it's a complete symbolic representation of what happens when you govern with this ideology. But what do you guys think about that? Sound off in the comment section below. Give that like button a smash. Let's fast forward a bit.
I mean, I've read some deluded claptrap in my time, but Biden's self-appraisal of basically how he saved America and the world is pretty priceless. And I watched his stuff he said on television the other night as well. The guy seems to be tripping towards retirement in an utterly deluded manner about his presidency, doesn't he? Dave, that's for you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear who the question was for. Well, look, this is the obvious end to an utterly embarrassing, pandering, and I would say, frankly, almost illegal presidency. The man has been cognitively impaired. We all knew it, or most of us knew it. I was doing videos on this back in 2019. The idea that he's been in charge of this administration is a complete sham. He can't speak off the cuff, obviously. He can barely read off the prompter. We're just watching the end of something that, look, they cooed him over the summer, right? He wanted to run. We know Jill wanted him to run. Kamala Harris and Barack Obama and whatever party leaders, they threatened him with the 25th Amendment. This entire thing has been one sham after the other. And I think, after we have 5 more days of this, we're going to probably see Joe Biden about 3 more times. And then there will suddenly be a letter released, and it will say that he has been dealing with these cognitive issues. They knew it. Blah, blah, blah. And then it will leak out. Over the course of the next year, there will be plenty more to leak out, but he has not been in charge. It is a miracle we got through these 4 years, and we're going to have to deal with a lot of the fallout that he put in. But I'm very bullish, obviously, on Trump and this administration and the people he's bringing in, including Pete Hegseth. And I think we're going to see a lot of positive change very quickly, and it couldn't come too soon.
Yeah, I mean, Julie, I've heard Democrats trying to defend Joe Biden. They're sort of running out of energy for it. I think everyone kind of knows now that this is an old guy, probably suffering from a form of dementia, who's just stammering and stuttering and falling his way through to the end of what has turned out to be a pretty poor presidency, isn't it?
Have you listened to Donald Trump? I mean, I'm listening to this and I'm kind of in shock.
Oh my God, literally the meme. But Donald Trump, but Donald Trump. Man, crazy cat lady immediately with the meme.
Listen to what comes out of Donald Trump's mouth, who, by the way, is an insurrectionist.
Well,
And all of a sudden
this
you're
is
talking
Donald Trump,
about
and all I
he's
see is a
qualified,
guy.
he's gonna bring
Well,
Happy
it's
Days.
interesting you mentioned Trump. So I see a guy in Trump who's 2 years younger than Biden, but looks about 20 years younger than Biden, and still has.
Well, I'm sure if you got,
Well, he does.
Yeah, Biden makes the mistake of not getting airbrushed every day. But look, here's the bottom line. Joe Biden is leaving Donald Trump a very strong economy. Donald Trump promised to bring down, and I quote, the price of bacon, the price of eggs, and the price of apples. I can't wait to watch those promises. And on January 20th, that clock starts. Those are commitments that he made, and he's going to have to live up to them. He's going to have to live up to the fact that he's going to explode the American economy even more than it's gangbusters right now. And you have to admit, the American economy is doing better than any other Western country at the moment.
Okay.
He's going to have to come through on his promises
He will.
to deport
Isn't
people.
he?
Wait a second.
He will.
Deport people.
Yeah, I agree.
Wait, stop. Mass deportation,
Yep.
tariffs on everybody, and keep the economy going, and
Yep.
bring down the price of goods.
Yep.
I can't wait to see him pull that rat. Listen, I'll be the first to say when he does that, I'll be the
Okay.
first to compliment him. But right now, I'm going to sit back and watch him try to do that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, she won't. Does anybody really think that she's going to be the first to compliment him if he delivers on most of his promises? She suffers from Trump derangement syndrome. Her cats suffer from Trump derangement syndrome. There is no rescuing people like this. There is no helping them. When you could sit there and honestly say that Joe Biden is leaving Donald Trump with the best economy, how could anybody who is not either a liar or a complete freaking wacko say that with a straight face, and let alone say that on television for the world to see, where this is on tape, where we could go back to this and laugh at her whenever we want? Why? Is this a humiliation ritual on her part? Because who could say that and think that they have any amount of integrity or any amount of legitimacy in their system? And that goes for anyone that agrees with this crazy cat lady, Julie Radzinski over here, who's apparently a Democrat strategist, which makes sense. Because if she's the one helping them come up with strategies, then it isn't any wonder why they lost. Good job on Dave Rubin here, schooling this crazy cat lady, Julie Radzinski. If you want to see more Dave Rubin, I got more Dave Rubin videos on my channel, and I got more goodies for you on the screen to click away and enjoy.